The glacial land where the ancient secrets lay hidden. We came across marvels sculpted by the snowy hands of time. With Alaska, the land of snow, behind us, we embark on a journey into the summer of Alaska. It is the season when salmon journey up the river. Intense competition for survival in Alaska's midsummer. We depart for the site of the struggle. The first journey today begins at Kenai, located 3 hours away from Anchorage. Flourishing leaves and flowers signal the arrival of summer in Alaska. In the summer, these are something you can see often all around Alaska. It's called fireweed, and it's a pink willow herb. It also is a flower that symbolizes Alaska. Unlike the quiet roads, many people stand in rows along the river. They seem to be fishing. I hurried down to the riverbank. It looked like a fishing rod from above the hill, but everyone is actually holding huge scooping nets. They are waiting for something to swim into the net. Finally, an opportunity to find out what they are for arises. Even in my eyes, it seems quite big and sturdy.
What is it?
Red.
Salmon?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, cute. Oh.
I can feel the weight of a lively salmon right in my hands. It reminds me that the summer in Alaska is a season for salmon. Every time the net is dragged to the shore, there is always salmon in it.
Still alive, yeah.
By the way, am I supposed to call this a net? The equipment looks peculiar, and the pole is so long that I can barely lift it.
와, 무게가 한 25kg 정도 가는 것 같아. 25kg. 이게 아주 그냥 휘죽휘죽 거리는데요.
When you catch the fish,
Yes.
pull it like this and up there, there, and you go in a beach.
This fishing method is possible only because this is a part of the route salmon take to get to the river. People just need to put the net in the way.
The net is very lightweight. Usually I go way out there, but the current is so strong that I can't hold it upright so I can catch fish.
Even men have trouble bearing the strong current. It seems even more difficult for women. They can barely bring the equipment out of the water.
I'm gonna be exhausted doing this. I think I need to move my handle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move this green thing.
This is their first time out fishing. The strong current and unfamiliar equipment are giving them a hard time.
Like this, yeah. It'll push current and you can't. I don't know. It'll push more.
I would love to feel what it's like to hold the 25-kilogram pole in the river, but all I can do is watch.
아니고는 직접 이 딥네팅을 직접 하면 안 되고.
Travelers can fish using the fishing rod after buying a permit. Maybe because deep net fishing is so easy. That there is even a quota on how many the Alaskan residents can catch. The most fattened up and delicious salmon, and the freshest salmon eggs.
He wants it. So
Not all of these are for immediate consumption.
For eating through the winter time, so we can get our all year long fish right now.
자, 과연 여기 연어가 있을지 궁금하네요. 오, 오, 예.
This time it's not a salmon, but a small halibut.
우리나라 같으면 지금 뭐 난리가 났을 텐데 여기 주로 이제 크다란 연어를 잡는 게 목적이어서 그냥 조그만 거 내리고 바로 또 들어가시면 돼요.
There are almost as many tents by the river as there are people.
you got some?
I caught two.
I didn't get none.
None?
And we've been here all day. I don't get none. I'm not happy. Okay. I made a shark.
I tell them I'm from Korea, and she offers to show me something.
Hana do set net. That's it. Yes it.
What? Yeah, it's doing taekwondo with my son and my daughter.
No, one orange form.
There we go. Say hi.
I feel the popularity of Taekwondo at this place too. I decide to follow Roger's family, who are on their way home. Roger's wife, Susan, is an Inupiat, a native Alaskan.
25 for the head of household and 10 fish for every other family member. So with us, we have 3 of my family, so it's 45. Just to preserve the amount of fish that come into the river, so it'll be a renewable resource over the years.
We always, after we go fishing.
I follow Roger home because I was curious how they store the salmon they caught. As an Inupiat, Susan uses their traditional knife to carefully clean the salmon. Nothing goes to waste.
This is the liver. You soak it in the water. Blackberries and eat it with
Oh yeah.
blackberry aburak, Eskimo ice cream.
오, 색깔이 아주 그냥 진홍색이 아주 밝고 아주 진합니다. 색깔도 이쁘고 먹음직스럽습니다. 색깔이.
For you. Here, I just wanted
After
to show
removing the insides, they freeze it whole like this. Now I'm curious what their fridge looks like.
와우.
This is what the fish looks like
와우.
after it's all wrapped.
July 22nd.
Yep. That's when
Yeah.
that free Susan's fish
Ooh,
heads.
hat.
Mhm.
Oh, you love hat.
Susan does.
Oh.
This is seal meat from last year.
Lasts longer when you freeze the entire fish.
yeah, yeah.
So we cut the heads off, cut the tail off, take the guts out, and just freeze it like that because the skin keeps the inside from getting freezer burned.
Yeah.
Each part of the fish they caught is kept separately. It's truly amazing. The salmon they caught today is also wrapped up for the winter. All this is the wisdom of the Alaskan people as they struggle to survive the harsh environment.
And what is good about them dying is it feeds the eagles and the seagulls and the bears and the foxes and anything else you could think of all benefit from having that food source for them every year, year after year. Plus the rainbow trout and any other fish that are in the river eat all the decaying salmon. So it's a very nutritious river up there.
The Kenai River begins at an ice field in the Kenai Mountains. It is said that each river has a unique scent as it flows into the sea. Salmon then follow this smell upstream to return to where they were born. We follow the salmon's journey home. Upstream, the Kenai River is the Cooper Landing. Upriver, the Kenai River is Cooper Landing. This is where it meets a branch of the Russian River to form an important salmon fishing point. All Alaskan anglers who take pride in their craft all gather here. King salmon that was caught here went up on the world record with a length of over 1 meter. Many anglers drive themselves to break the record. Because the river current is extremely strong, the boats move around using lines. A landscape fitting for its reputation as the angler's paradise.
3, 4, 5. 레드 세몬입니다. 붉은 연어인데요. 이미 이제 운명을 달리하셨고요. 아주 큼직합니다. 한 60cm, 70cm는 되는 것 같아요. 아주 크기가 엄청납니다. 오!
Around here, this is nothing to brag about. He turns around to pull up yet another salmon. They're not veteran anglers for nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the technique. Maybe it's the river being full of fish. The salmon just keep on coming. It's amazing.
The salmon going up this way to follow the Kenai River.
And they go all the way up to the Kenai Lake.
Lake,
and
yeah.
That's where they spawn. The smaller ones, like some of the smaller ones you see on this one, they come up this side and go up the Russian River, and that's where they spawn.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, red salmon don't spawn in flowing water. So they move up the stream until they come across calm waters. I take the angler's advice and head for the Russian River.
The walk is very difficult when you get to
This
the upper
way,
river.
this
yeah,
way.
it's difficult.
So we better go
yeah.
back and bring the car and then go up there.
That's
and
what
then...
I would do.
You don't want to do the river. It's very hard to do.
I take a different route based on the advice of those who know the geography. I must have walked for about an hour. Greeted by the sound of flowing water, I arrive at the Russian waterfall.
연어가 아직 안 보입니다. 연어들 수자새우까지 왔는데요.
Where could the salmon be? I stick my hand into the river, where the current is weaker.
이제 손끝으로 만졌는데요. 금방 힘차게 도망갔어요. 어우, 여기 연어가 한 10마리 되는 것 같아요. 어우!
Salmon, brushing away from my fingertips, are firm yet full of life. The upper part of the waterfall has an even stronger current. However, this is a truly amazing place. The river is teeming with salmon. I've never seen anything like this before. These are the champion salmon. that overcame all obstacles along the Kenai River. On the last leg of their journey, this place will be a final challenge for the salmon. They are gathering their strength to jump up the waterfall steps.
저쪽에 보시면 약간 선홍색의 그 붉은 물체가 보이는데요. 곰이 직접 여기 내려와서요. 연어가 치고 올라가는 연어를 좀 잡아먹은 사태들이 좀 여러 개 있습니다.
It's what remains after bears feasted on salmon. They are evidence of the intensity of the wild. In order to bear through this rough current, the salmon must compete with one another for survival.
강한 자만 살아남을 것 같은데요. 연어가 여기를 물결을 치고 올라와서 여기로 올라가기가 쉽진 않아 보여요. 저도 내려가다 미끄러지고 물살 때문에 힘들었는데 역시 그 새로운 생명을 탄생시키기 위한 그 어미의 그 고단한 여정은 치열한 것 같습니다.
To watch the salmon make their ultimate jumps, I find a nice spot to watch. About 2 hours later, the moment arrives. Now we follow the Kenai River, the home of salmon, to head for Homer, a village at the edge of the Kenai Peninsula. Homer is the southernmost port that can be reached by car in Alaska.
키나이 반도의 마지막 땅 끝까지 왔습니다. 바로 저 앞이 키나이의 끝 호머 항구가 보이네요. L-A-N-D-S, Lens, and 땅이 끝나는 곳에 왔습니다.
This place where land ends signifies the beginning of the ocean. Just like salmon that die after spawning float back down to the ocean, the beginning and the end are the two sides of the same coin. A travel agency in Homer is promoting the Alaskan Bear Adventures. Homer is one of the starting points for Kodiak Island and Katmai National Park, homes of Alaskan brown bears. The reason why I have come to Homer is to look at the intense scene of survival of salmon that reverse the river current and the bears that fight to grasp the moment. With this goal in mind, I head for the Katmai National Park. There is no direct flight to Kenai National Park, located on the Aleutian Islands. Everyone has to pass through a small city called King Salmon. In June 1912, the biggest volcanic explosion of the 20th century occurred at the Nova Rupta volcano. The explosion continued for 3 days, and the lava from the volcano created valleys with a moon-like surface. Hence, the Katmai National Park was created. King Salmon is the base camp for the Katmai National Park.
이곳 알류산 열도 최북단에서 가장 많이 볼 수 있는 사카이 세몬이 베링해로에서 근해로 들어오는 장면을 볼 수가 있습니다. 최상류까지 진입한 연어들은 이 순간을 기다리던 곰들에게 마지막 최후의 순간을 맞게 될지도 모릅니다.
Competition to survive between the salmon and the bear. With hopes of witnessing this scene, I board a hydroplane and head for Brooks Camp at Katmai National Park. Outside the window, tundra stretches to the horizon. Life is truly amazing. It bears through long winters and once again forms the green fields like these. 30 minutes later, an urgent voice calls from the distance.
Up in the hill or near the steps, please. This bear's picking up its pace.
It's hard to believe this is really happening. Actually, seeing the brown bear really makes me very alert. This is the moment that reminds us that this is the wild, not a zoo.
실제 상황에 닥치니까 좀 놀래기도 하고 저희도 지금 깜짝 놀라가지고 여기 지금 캠프 뒤쪽으로 좀 숨었다 다시 나왔는데 역시 그 아주 깊은 그 카트마이 국립공원에 아주 깊은 곳에 와 있다는 그런 걸 실감하게 되네요.
Hundreds of bears live at Katmai National Park. They leave their traces here and there.
뭐 발자국 딱 보이고요. 이건 뭐 거의 100% 곰이 지나간 자리입니다. 곰 발바닥도 있네요. 곰 발바닥.
The reason why there are so many bears here is that sockeye salmon, a favorite treats of bears, swim up the Brooks River.
가는 곳마다 이렇게 그 자물쇠로 락을 잠가놨어요. 곰이 접근하기 쉽기 때문에 안전을 위해서 이렇게 한 것 같습니다.
Atop the observation platform, already are numerous photojournalists. These are camera equipment of professionals.
The lens, the new.
거의 따발총 수준입니다. 뭐 곰을 안 잡을래야 안 잡을 수가 없고요. 곰의 아주 생생한 장면을 반드시 포착할 수 있는 카메라입니다.
Keep the bugs off of me. The best day, six bears on the falls.
He shows me pictures from yesterday.
Ready to fighting. Wow.
He's a professional photojournalist.
Amazing shot.
No, I do professional. I go out and shoot Yellowstone. I do Yellowstone a lot.
Numerous photojournalists visit here to take pictures of the scene of survival between salmon and bears. I head for Brooks Falls, where an encounter with a bear is most likely. The last obstacle for the sockeye salmon headed up the Brooks River is this waterfall. A brown bear finally reveals itself. The Alaskan brown bear is the biggest of all brown bears. At that moment, another bear wanders up from below the waterfall. As soon as they meet, they fight over who will have a better position. A fight between brown bears depends on their size. The winner will position itself at the center of the waterfall where the salmon jump. The loser will settle for a corner location. This winning bear seems relaxed. Look at how he yawns. After staring at the water for a while, one of the bears lunges forward. The loser in the fight for the better position ends up getting his meal first. He moves so quickly that the saying, "moves like a bear," is hardly fitting. He's really enjoying that salmon. The winning bear is still looking for his salmon. He too finally succeeds. He catches his meal for the day. It seems that it is a rule of nature for a living thing to depend on the life of another.
아주 순수한 원시 자연 속에 평온하게 머물고 있는 곰을 직접 봤을 때 역시 자연은 자연 속에 있을 때 가장 아름답고 평화롭지 않나 그런 생각을 하게 됐습니다.
Neither flower nor grass that grows here is artificial. It's the land of the wild that is beautiful on its own. I go back to Homer, the Land's End.
와, 내 키보다 크네. 할리봇 광어인데. 이야.
Homer is the city of halibut. It's famous for its huge halibut. At the port of Homer, I meet a family headed for halibut fishing.
Maybe, yeah. I hope, hopefully.
Out of goodwill, they offer to take me with them. The reason why there are so many halibut in Homer also have to do with salmon.
So it takes about...
They come in, the salmon all die, and all of that washes back to the ocean. The Kenai River, 4.5 million salmon each year. And all those die. Every Pacific salmon that spawns dies. And all of that, when they die, flushes back to the ocean.
Thanks to the salmon, the rivers and ocean of the Kenai Peninsula are always teeming with life. Captain John, who offers to take me fishing with him, settled here with his family because he fell in love with Alaska.
선장인 John의 wife.
I live in Korea.
We met online.
Oh, you met online?
Online, yes. Match.com. True story.
Really?
Yes. Enough to go fishing.
Woo!
And then we started dating, and here we are. Yep. I saw John, and I love John.
Yeah.
Not too far from land, the boat comes to a halt. John prepares the bait. The salmon and herring bait are sizable, raising anticipation as to how big the halibut that bites will be. I wonder how big the biggest halibut that was caught in this area was.
3 meters. 300 centimeters.
450 kilos.
How can you pull out? How can you?
I don't know how big.
John's friend Dan shows me how.
Wow. 와. 엄청난 힘이 느껴지는데요. 아마도 이거를 쏘면 한 2, 3m짜리 되는 그 광어도 바로 그냥 죽을 것 같아요. 와.
We're getting a bite. John's wife is the first to catch a fish out of everyone on board. But it's not a halibut, but a huge stingray.
1 meter more. 와, heavy. 몸무게 한 50kg, 40kg나 50kg 나갈 것 같아요.
Although regretful, we decide to let this one go.
자, 이놈을 다시 바다로 보내겠습니다. 야. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
It was an excellent feeling to pull up such a big fish.
Excuse me?
Finally, something bites my line.
Keep going? Keep going, yeah.
Oh, he's there. Hey, whoa.
Like magic, I pull up a halibut.
제가 제일 먼저 할리붓을 잡았습니다. 근데 굉장히 큰 걸 기대했는데 한 60cm 정도 되는 할리붓이고요.
Eyes on both sides.
Ah.
And they swim vertical like this. And then as they grow up, eyes move to one side.
Both sides here, one
Yeah,
side.
then they move to one side. But when they're born, they swim just like this. And eyes one on each side. And as they grow up, they orient like this.
So this is what a halibut looks like. It looks quite silly with both eyes on one side.
I want to fish that side. There's a lot of chum in the water over there. Want to give it to one of these guys?
A big one bites this time. Like a veteran fisherman, John pulls up the halibut instantaneously, no matter how much the fish struggles.
Oh my God. Oops.
Sleep now.
반갑다.
Yes.
Oh, really appreciate it.
It's now time to say goodbye to these good people.
Thank you. 이렇게 아름다운 자연 속의 삶 속에서도 저렇게 따뜻하고 소박하게 사는 사람들의 모습을 보면서 알래스카의 또 다른 매력을, 좀 더 깊은 매력을 느끼는 것 같아요.